When you picture the modeling world, I bet it's all, glamour, right? Sparkling runways, perfect faces, this kind of effortless beauty.
Yeah, that's definitely the image we're sold.
But what if, behind all that shine, it's, a lot more complicated?
Yeah.
Maybe even vulnerable or unsettling.
Exactly. And that's what we're digging into today. We're looking
Yeah.
at this hidden side of modeling and maybe more importantly, how much physical appearance shapes our lives in general.
Mm-hmm.
Our guide for this is a really frank TED Talk by a professional model, Cameron Russell.
Yeah, I watched it. She promises fearless honesty, and wow, she really delivers. She peels back the curtain.
She does.
So our goal today really is to unpack how much our looks affect, everything, how people see us,
Yeah.
the advantages we might get.
And the costs, too, the surprising costs, not just for models, but for lots of people.
Okay, let's get into it. So Cameron Russell starts her talk with him. It's quite a statement. She changes her clothes right there on stage, like in seconds.
Yeah, it's fast. 1 second she's in a slinky dress and heels, the next she's in a casual skirt and sweater.
And the impact is instant. Right. You see the audience, you imagine their perception just shift based on clothes.
Totally. It's such a clear demo of how powerful image is. She does it in 6 seconds? And boom, how people see her changes.
And then she connects it to your own experience, right? That photo.
Oh, yeah, the sexy photo. She looks so confident, so alluring, but she tells you the reality behind it was, totally different.
What was that?
She says she'd never even had a boyfriend at the time, felt completely awkward, and the photographer was literally telling her, arch your back, put your hand in this stranger's hair.
Wow. So it was completely constructed.
Completely, which really makes you ask, if image can be faked that easily, how much importance should we actually give it?
Right. So her point seems to be, look, appearance might feel superficial, maybe like something we can't change. But it has this massive impact on our lives, a huge impact, she says. And being honest about that, that's what she calls being fearless.
It's a powerful way to frame it.
So models always get asked, how'd you get started? And the typical answer is,
Oh, I was scouted, discovered somewhere.
but Russell says, hold on, that's not the real story. It goes deeper.
Yeah, much deeper. She's incredibly direct. She says, point blank, I won a genetic lottery. And also that she's the recipient of a legacy.
A legacy. What does she mean by that? Is it just about being, healthy looking?
Well, health and symmetry are part of what we find attractive biologically, sure. But she's talking about something more specific, something historical.
Okay.
For centuries, our idea of beauty, especially in the West, has meant certain things. Tall, very thin, feminine, and crucially, she points out, white skin. She says, this legacy was built for me, and it's a legacy I've been cashing out on. It's quite a statement.
It is. Though some people might immediately think, but wait, what about Naomi Campbell? Or Tyra Banks? Successful models who aren't white.
And that's a fair point, absolutely. There are definitely exceptions, and important ones.
What?
But Russell's point is about the system, the overall structure, and there's actually data. A PhD student at NYU back in 2007 counted the models on the runways.
Okay, what did they find?
Out of 677 models booked for the shows, only 27 were non-white.
27 out of almost 700.
Yep, less than 4%. So while there are famous exceptions, the numbers really show how deeply embedded that specific legacy of beauty still is in who gets hired.
That really puts it in perspective. Okay, so another question she gets, especially from young girls, is, can I be a model when I grow up?
Right. The dream job for many.
How does she answer that one?
Her first honest reaction is just, why?
Oh, yeah, okay.
She pushes back a bit. She tells them, look, you could be anything. Be the president. Invent the next internet. Or, her example is amazing, be a ninja cardiothoracic surgeon poet.
A ninja cardiothoracic surgeon poet.
Yep. She says you'd be the first. It's about opening up possibilities beyond just looks.
I love that.
Yeah.
But if they still insist on modeling.
Then her advice shifts. She says, be my boss.
Yeah.
Aim higher in the industry structure. Be the editor of Vogue, the CEO of H&M, the top photographer calling the shots. Don't just be the face. Be the power behind it.
That's interesting advice. Then she makes this comparison about modeling as a career goal.
Yeah, this one really hits home. She says, wanting to be a model when you grow up is basically like saying you want to win the Powerball.
Oh.
It'd be great, sure, but it's out of your control and it's not a career path. It's chance, mostly.
And she demonstrates this lack of maybe transferable skills.
She does. It's quite funny, but also kind of sad. She shows off 10 years of accumulated model knowledge in just a few seconds.
What does she do?
It's the walking shot pose.
Yeah.
That specific way models walk. Leg out, one arm back, other arm forward, head turned just so. And she says she's done that exact move, maybe 300, 400, 500 times for a single shot. It's technical, it's repetitive.
But not exactly useful on a resume for, say, managing an office.
Exactly. She kind of jokes about what a 10-year resume listing underwear model looks like. The skills aren't diverse.
Okay, so the job itself is maybe not what it seems. What about the pictures? We hear about retouching all the time. Is that the main thing?
She confirms it, yeah. They pretty much retouch all the photos, she says. But then she adds, that's actually only a small part of it.
Oh, what's the bigger part?
The construction. She shows these pairs of photos, personal snapshots next to professional shots taken around the same time.
Like what?
There's one, her first bikini photo shoot. She hadn't even started her period yet, and she pairs it with a sweet picture with her grandma.
Wow.
Another is a fun slumber party photo versus this high-fashion French Vogue shoot, a dorky soccer team picture versus a slick V magazine image.
The contrast must be huge.
It really is. And it leads to her main point about the photos.
Which is...
These pictures are not pictures of me, they are constructions. That's her core message.
So not just tweaked, built.
Built by a whole team.
Yeah.
Hairstylists, makeup artists, the photographer, the stylist choosing the clothes, all their assistants, plus pre-production planning, post-production editing. It's a massive effort to create that final image. It's not her walking down the street. It's manufactured.
That's a really different way to think about those glossy magazine photos. Okay, what about the perks? People always think models get loads of free stuff.
She kind of laughs about that. Admits she has way too many pairs of 8-inch heels she can't actually walk in.
Huh. Relatable. Maybe not the heels part.
But then she gets serious. The real free stuff she gets isn't clothes or shoes. It's advantages in everyday life.
How so?
Simply because of how she looks. Not because of who she is, but what she looks like. She tells this story about being in a store, forgetting her wallet, and the clerk just gave her the dress for free. Yep. Or, another time, driving with a friend who ran a red light, they get pulled over, she just says, "Sorry, officer," and is served. That's it. They're let go.
Wow. That's privilege right there.
Exactly. It's unearned advantage based purely on appearance matching a certain ideal.
But she contrasts this pretty sharply, doesn't she?
Yeah.
While she gets these benefits.
Right. Others pay a heavy price, also based on how they look, and again, not who they are. This is where it gets really sobering.
What example does she use?
She uses stop and frisk data from New York City. At the time, 140,000 teenagers had been stopped and frisked by police.
Okay.
And 86% of them were Black and Latino, mostly young men.
86%.
Yeah. And she points out there are only about 177,000 young Black and Latino men in the whole city. So for them, the question isn't if they'll get stopped, it's how many times, it's when.
That is a devastating contrast, getting a free dress versus that, based on appearance.
It powerfully illustrates the systemic inequality tied to image and race.
Okay, so the final big question she tackles is the one everyone probably asks. What is it really like being a model?
Yeah, the inside scoop. And people expect, the glamorous answer, "Oh, it's amazing. I'm so happy because I'm thin and have great hair."
Right.
And she says, backstage, models might give a version of that talk about the travel, the creative people, but there's one thing they never say on camera.
What's that?
I am insecure.
Really?
Models, according to her, yes, deeply insecure, because their entire value, day in and day out, is judged based on their appearance. They have to think about how they look constantly.
That sounds exhausting.
She puts it so well. She says, basically, if you ever wonder if I just had thinner thighs and shinier hair, would I be happier? You just need to meet a group of models because they have the thinnest thighs, the shiniest hair, the coolest clothes, and they're the most physically insecure women probably on the planet.
Wow. That completely flips the script on that fantasy. And I guess that insecurity isn't just limited to the models themselves, is it? It reflects a broader issue.
Definitely. She brings in more stats here. Among 13-year-old girls in the U.S., 53% don't like their bodies.
Over half.
And by age 17, that number jumps to 78%.
78%. That's terrible.
It shows the immense pressure we all feel around image, amplified by the very industry she's part of.
So wrapping up, she talks about how hard it was to actually give this talk, to be this honest.
Yeah, she admits it was uncomfortable. First, Admitting you benefit from a system that's fundamentally unfair. A deck stacked in my favor, she calls it.
Right.
And then, maybe even more uncomfortably, following that up with, and guess what? It doesn't always make me happy anyway.
That's a complex thing to admit.
And she says the hardest part was trying to talk about this legacy of gender and racial oppression when she herself is, in her words, one of the biggest beneficiaries.
Yeah, I can see that being difficult.
But she felt it was crucial to speak up then, while still actively working and maybe before she had, total control over her career narrative. To share the real stories, how she got her first job, how she paid for college before they got polished into something else.
That makes sense. Get the unvarnished truth out there. So ultimately, what does she hope people take away from all this?
She says she hopes we can all just get more comfortable acknowledging the power of image, both in our successes, the things we perceive as wins,
and in our failures, or the things we see as setbacks. Recognizing how much appearance might play a role, acknowledged or not.
Exact.
This whole deep dive, it really does make you reconsider the stories we tell ourselves and others about beauty and success and privilege.
Definitely. Hopefully it gives everyone listening something to think about, too.
Yeah. Maybe consider, just for a moment, how might some unexamined bias about appearance be subtly shaping your own judgments day to day, or the opportunities you get, or maybe miss out on?
And taking it a step further, what could it look like for you personally to start consciously questioning or challenging those ingrained ideas about what attractive or successful or trustworthy looks like?
Big questions. Definitely food for thought.